I think Europe and Asia are ahead of the US in the Internet of Things adoption, primarily because they now have a mature nationwide infrastructure in place in a lot of the large countries. I think the reason for that was the early government mandate around energy management, which encouraged and in some cases forced all of the utilities to start introducing smart meters. That led to the requirement to have a low power, wide area way to collect data. On the back of that, many of the telecom carriers and some new entrants leveraged the emerging standards around low power to start addressing a whole number of other use cases based on the fact that they already had infrastructure investment done for smart metering.
Give me some specific use cases that, feel free to name names, it's up to you.
So for example, we're now seeing the adoption of Internet of Things for a variety of uses in building management. We're working with a lot of large companies that have multiple offices, and at this point they have very little information, if any, around how these buildings really get used on a day-to-day basis. For instance, they don't know if they have 5,000 desks, how many of those are used on a Monday morning at 11 o'clock, and more importantly, how many should they really need to have given the fluidity and the changing patterns of working. So Internet of Things sensors now suddenly give us the ability to get that information of knowing if someone is sitting at their desk or not at a very low cost. And that certainly starts to introduce a whole set of new information that these companies never had and that they can leverage for all sorts of other benefits.
So tell me about the data that's produced and how we Microshare help make it useful or even make revenue from it.
So as these clients are innovating and starting to introduce those sensors, they are realizing that the information could be leveraged by a whole different number of parties that historically they would not have easily shared information with. And we as Microshare help them make that easy by first finding a place to store that information, because this is typically a very large volume of unstructured data that doesn't fit easily with their existing IT infrastructure. We then help them enrich it by connecting to some of their legacy systems. And finally, we allow them to share that information to the various trusted third parties that they'd like to work with. There's a whole set of larger organizations that will also benefit from having that information. For example, the insurance company would be interested in knowing in real time how many people are in that building. The emergency services, in certain contexts, may want to be able to access the information at a click of a button if there is an event that's happening nearby or in that building. And this is one of the key things that Microshare enables, is to allow that information to be shared within the right day-to-day rules, as well as with specific context that trigger the need for that information to be released.